What's up, everyone? It's Tony here with Nerds Never Sleep, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than what I usually do. Now, typically, if you guys follow the channel, I do statue, figure, and collectibles reviews. Not so much movie and TV show reviews, but I had quite a few people asking my thoughts on the movie, so I figured why not be a little late to the party and give a video of kind of some of my thoughts and feelings on this movie, both good and bad. So I am going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, dipping into some things that were in the trailers, but I will keep the spoilerish stuff to some comments at the very end of the video so I don't ruin the movie for those of you who haven't gotten a chance to see it yet or been spoiled on TikTok or Instagram or anything else. With that being said, let's get right into the review. So for those of you who don't know, the basic plot synopsis of this film is a pretty simple one. Deadpool, his world is going to basically end, right? And it's going to involve the cringe TVA that we saw, some people saw, in the Loki series, which is one of the crappiest things the MCU has done because the TVA is absolute garbage. It negates so many things, and it just makes things like Infinity Stones, stuff like that, garbage, junk, stuff you should throw into a drawer. And it's just irritating. Everything about the TVA sucks. It's my hot take. We're going to open up the movie. You know, Deadpool has kind of hung up his tights, so to speak. He's kind of given up. And he's got his group of friends, you know, things like that. There is one friend who is noticeably absent for reasons. And, you know, it's just cool. We get to see a little bit of Deadpool and the people he cares about. We get Colossus, we get Negasonic Teenage Warhead. You know, we get his little circle of friends here. And as you see in the trailer, there's a knock at the door. And, of course, it's the TVA. So he's going to get brought in and he's going to get explained to that his world is going to end. And they're going to give him a chance to kind of leave his world. Go and be with the big boys, so to speak. He doesn't really want to do that because obviously everybody he loves is going to die. So the way they show this is in the cringe graphic from the Loki show, which is just lines. A bunch of lines splintering off of each other, right? And this is how they show it to you in the film. They show a clip of it in the trailer too, so I'm not really, again, spoiling much here. And it basically just shows his line for his world just shortening. They don't give you any dialogue about what's going to happen in the world, what's going to happen. It's going to poof, cease to exist, right? So it's up to Deadpool to kind of save his world. And the reason for his world ending is because its anchor being died, which was Logan. In the end of the Logan movie, spoilers, I know guys, but at the end of Logan movie, he dies. And so he was the anchor being of the Fox universe, essentially. And so it's going to be destroyed. Well, it's up to Deadpool to cause all kinds of hijinks and mayhem and try to save his world. So this is where I'm going to kind of be very brief and not spoilery. Essentially, Deadpool finds a way to escape our stupid, horrible, cringe, cartoon villain TVA guy and get a time machine and jump around. So his solution is, I'm going to find a new Wolverine. So we get a bunch of montages, we get some cameos, we get some cool little stuff to happen, some great scenes that I really, really enjoyed, and again, I will get to that in the spoilers. Some scenes that I was really irritated about in that little montage, but in this montage of him searching for Wolverine, we get lots of cool scenes, we get lots of little Easter eggs kind of scattered around, some comic book covers, some things like that. Really, really cool stuff. And the whole sequence was just really, really fun. Now, one of the best scenes that takes place early on in this movie is actually the opening credits scene. And I gotta say it. Most people have probably seen the popularity of NSYNC's Bye 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 right now. And that song plays during this opening scene where we do see some of it in the trailer of Deadpool just decimating a bunch of TVA agents. In the beginning of this movie, I was hyped. I thought, TVA's done at this point, okay? We're done, we're over. No, we're not. So it gets you hyped up, and then it kind of lets you down when you realize, oh crap, we're getting into more TVA nonsense. So he does all the time traveling thing, and eventually he does find himself a Wolverine. Well, it turns out, little spoiler here, it does turn out that this Wolverine is not the best Wolverine. He is the lowest of the low Wolverine, but he's the Wolverine that offers the least resistance. So, of course, Deadpool, in his maximum effort, decides we're going to take this one. You know, and what happens after this now is our little buddy cop kind of comedy thing goes on. Our interaction between Wolverine and Deadpool, and kind of getting to know a little bit of their backstory. We do get a little bit of a history of why Wolverine is the way he is in his universe, but I do wish they would have given us more details and given us a little clearer picture of what was going on with him and why he is the way he is. Because this is a downtrodden and just defeated Wolverine. And it was a very great take on it. Hugh Jackman, I got to tell you guys, it has been a while since we've seen Hugh in the claws, and he killed it. I was not a fan of Logan. I thought it was dull, dragged, and boring. And it kind of butchered the actual comic story, which was, I was excited to see that comic book come to life. And we didn't get Old Man Logan. We got sad, depressed, dying Logan. That's just for another movie. But this Logan had a very unique kind of tone to him, and I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to learn more about him. But, of course, because plot has to happen, we end up in the Wastelands, which, again, if you didn't watch Loki, you wouldn't know about this place. So it is another thing where it's like, if you're not watching these MCU shows, guys, you might miss some things. So we go in the trailer, obviously, we see kind of the wasteland, we see everyone, and we meet the show stealer, in my opinion. So this is the part where we meet Cassandra Nova, who is played by, I believe her name is Emma Corrin. And I gotta say, guys, she was incredible. I have not heard any other reviewers talk about this character, and that's what I'm going to do right now. She stole every scene she was in. And as a comic book reader, if you know anything about Cassandra Nova, she was this sick, kind of twisted, almost invulnerable villain who is essentially Charles Xavier's dead in the womb twin sister that did end up surviving her death. And she grows into this twisted, just sick effort of a character. And she is just menacing and twisted. And every picture you see her in a comic book, she's got this creepy kind of like, you know, like just look to her, or just the way her body like just looks deformed. And oh my God, Emma nailed everything about this character. She was perfect casting for the role. She was like skinny and like emaciated, you know, just her mannerisms, everything about it, how she went from kind of menacing and psychotic to just like flippant and snapping her fingers and doing horrible things to people. Absolutely incredible. And I know I'm gushing over this character, but they did such a fantastic job with her. I wanted more of her in the movie. I absolutely wanted her to be all of the villainy of the film. Rather than splitting it with the crappy TVA, I would have loved to have had her have been the central focal point. Okay? But it's MCU, so it's got to give a little bit of a letdown. We got to shoehorn our crappy product into it. So we got TVA. Now, we go through the Wastelands, obviously, and we get a bunch more cameo stuff. We get some more, you know, things going on. There are some very, very funny moments in this movie, and I gotta say the chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds is mwah, it is peak. They have such an incredible chemistry in this movie that I could watch the two of them just bicker with each other for hours, and it would be fine with me. I would love it. If we just got a series, give us a series of just Deadpool and Wolverine traveling and crap talking each other. I would love it. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, guys, we finally get to see Hugh Jackman wearing the blue and yellow. And my God, this costume could have went horribly wrong, but they absolutely nailed the costume design, the cowl design. Oh, it was just absolutely fantastic. And I'm so happy we finally got to see him in the proper costume. Now, Deadpool's costume, of course, looked awesome, as it always does. And again, these two carried these roles so amazingly well. Their chemistry is phenomenal. And the jokes. Some of the jokes had the 20 or so people in my theater laughing out loud. There were a lot of jokes that kind of just went and kind of fell flat. But there were quite a few jokes that had the chuckles out. The interactions between Deadpool, Wolverine, and some of the other characters were great. Now, as far as just the action sequences in this movie were awesome. They were definitely ramped up for the R rating. We saw lots of blood, lots of dismemberments, all kinds of good stuff, and tons of profanity. I think the F-bomb was dropped a few hundred times in this movie. There was just no holding back. But the absolute fourth wall break of Deadpool, where he openly mocks the MCU, he mocks Marvel, he mocks Disney, he does all these things. And I'm surprised Disney even greenlit a lot of these ideas, because it really does poke a lot of holes in the bag of crap that has been the last few phases of the MCU. So I was very happy with that. Now, as far as, again, the actual story itself, the story is the weakest part. It does have some heart to it, right? We have our heartfelt moments with Wade. We have our heartfelt moment with even this Logan. Though we know very little about him, he has a few little heartfelt moments. And even throughout this film, both of them do have like a character arc. They do. And I do appreciate that they did that. It could have just been a one-note thing. Hey, we're done. But they do almost kind of grow in this film, and I could appreciate that. Now, was the plot really that great? It was okay. Story, was it great? It was okay. But again, the dynamics between the two characters and the supporting characters, and of course my main villain in this movie, Cassandra Nova, were all phenomenal. The costumes were absolutely great. The action scenes were pretty damn good. They were definitely so heavily CG reliant that sometimes everything did look a little video gamey rather than looking more realistic. And there were a lot of the stunts in the movie that happened where it looked like, that's not them. Okay, that's not them jumping right now. That's all CG. It's not a stuntman or anything. It's all just a CG thing. And it kind of does pull you out of it. But there's only a few times it really does that. And again, this movie was turned around pretty damn quick. I believe they only had like 6 months from when they finished photography to release. Because I think they finished their final photography this February. So it's only been about 5 months since they finished photography. So you can definitely tell it was kind of rushed to get it along. Now, does it take away from the movie? No. The action scenes are great. The final couple of battles and fight scenes are amazing. And there was one fight that I was really, really disappointed by. And again, I'll get to that one in the spoilers. So, all in all, the action was good. The comedy was okay. And again, the story was just kind of meh. As far as things that I, again, really did enjoy, and this is not a spoiler, Dafne Keen's X-23 making an appearance obviously was a high point. Her all grown up, kind of having this new Logan introduced to her. A dynamic I'd really have liked to have seen expanded upon. But again, this is a movie filled with tons of cameos and drop-in, drop-outs, so we don't have time to kind of settle on one thing. It's kind of go, 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 until you hit the middle of the movie. The middle of the movie has this point where it does just drag, and it drags a little bit too long. And I feel like if that was tightened up a little bit more, we could have had more time between Logan and X-23. We could have had more time between some other characters that appear in the story and kind of let things breathe a little bit. But seeing how as it is a cameo-filled crossover MCU movie, there's going to be some missteps and some fumbles. So I can't fault the movie for trying to do something. But then again, we had something like Spider-Man No Way Home come before this that did everything so amazingly well. Every character had its arc, had its moment, had everything like that. And by the end of the movie, every character has kind of grown. We've seen it. This movie, you get Logan, you get Wade, they have a little bit of growth. That's it. The only other part I can say is that our cameo characters that were main focus did get a moment each to kind of shine. Now, as far as the movie as a whole, and comparing it to Deadpool 1 and 2, I gotta give an honest score of this movie. I don't think it was as good as Deadpool 1. I still think Deadpool 1 is the best Deadpool movie. I think this might, for me, be tied with Deadpool 2. And the only reason I say tied and not weaker than Deadpool 2 was because I went back and I watched Deadpool 2 again. And I abso-freaking-lutely hated that kid in that movie. The kid in Deadpool 2 ruined all goodwill for that damn movie. So it does place Deadpool and Wolverine at the same level as Deadpool 2. Because I absolutely hate and despise all the TVA crap. And that was filled in this movie. The TVA stuff, the Marvel TV crap that we keep getting force-fed, garbage. And I wish it would have been a one-time thing. We introduced it, we got rid of it, we moved on. But no, it's constant. It's throughout. Like, hey, remember Loki? Hey, remember this? And they literally do make fun of it in the movie. You know, we have something show up and Deadpool says, oh my God, that's from Loki episode 5. You know, and it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. And again, it's nice for people who never watch these crap shows to know where it came from. I feel like we should have reined in the TVA crap and just let Deadpool and Wolverine do their thing. It would have been a better movie with less TVA. And I know I keep hanging on that, but that is literally, it is the worst part of this movie. And the cartoon character freaking TVA head guy that we get introduced to, Parallax or whatever the hell his name was, I even forget. He was forgettable. He was forgettable character A. And he was terrible. Every moment he was on screen sucked the life out of the movie for me. I absolutely hated it. Whereas you looked at the villain like Cassandra Nova, and every time she's on the screen, she elevates that scene. There is literally a sequence in the movie where she's standing in the background in the wasteland, and there's like an overhead shot of the wasteland, of stuff happening below. And she is the focal point of that because she just has a presence about her. And I absolutely wish we would have gotten more of her and less TVA crap. It definitely knocks it down almost to a 6 because of all the excessive TVA crap. It really does bring the movie down for me. Now again, I know it does sound like I'm being very critical of the movie, and I don't think I am, but again, to me, this is a 6.5, 7 out of 10. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to say 7, just because there were some amazing moments. Now, were the moments in this movie as great as the moments in No Way Home? Absolutely not. No. The oh my God moments in No Way Home were just done so well. This did it good, but revealing characters that it revealed, it was just like, hey, yeah, I'm going to walk into the scene and I'm revealed. Didn't really have that cool sequence. I would have loved to have seen something happening, some crap hitting the fan, whatever, and character A shows up, character B shows up, we're going to help you. You know, this movie did it where it was, let's walk all our cameo characters in, introduce themselves. And that kind of just didn't really do it as much as like No Way Home, where it was portal opening and holy crap, it's Andrew Garfield. You know, it just had that effect. And this one, it did fall flat in that aspect. But again, the cameo characters were really cool. On my final thoughts here, because I don't want this to be too long, and I do apologize. This is my first review for a movie. But is it worth seeing? Absolutely worth seeing. Are you going to want to see it again? Maybe not in the theaters, but it is definitely something you're going to want to buy and see the extended scenes and the deleted scenes and all that stuff. Because from what I hear, there are quite a few cameos and scenes that did get cut. Definitely be worth a buy. It is 100% worth seeing. I highly recommend seeing it. It is a lot of fun. Despite the downs that I've been giving it, it is a lot of fun. I had a blast watching it. But the TVA deflated a lot of things for me. It did ruin it. They were greatest fodder for fight. But everything else, just get it out. Get it out, kill it, make it dead. Just go away. Erase it. Prune it. All in all, as I said, it was a good movie. It's the best MCU thing we've gotten since Spider-Man. So I can say that, and I know it's killing it in the theaters right now. It is doing so well. So obviously people like it. But I just wish the pacing was a little bit better. The story was a little bit tighter. And we got more of some things and a lot less of other things. Again, I think less TVA, more Cassandra Nova would have been awesome. But again, Marvel's going to Marvel, and they've got to sprinkle their crap into everything. So, with that being said, guys, like I said, my review of this movie is going to be, it's going to hover between a 6.5 and a 7. So I'm going to go 7 to make people a little bit happier, so I don't get as much flack. And, you know, again, I do recommend seeing it just for these two boys right here. Their interaction with each other, amazing. The chemistry is great. And Hugh Jackman just fell right into the role without a misstep. It's just amazing. Now, is it the best movie of all time? No, it's not. Is it the best Deadpool movie? No, it's not. It's tied for second. And is it going to save the MCU? Because I know that's what everyone's saying. I'm seeing videos out that the MCU saved, yada, yada, yada. No, it's not. No Way Home did not save the MCU. It was an amazing, incredible movie. It did phenomenal. And then everything after it was junk. This is lining up to be a similar situation. Is it going to save the MCU? No, it's going to give it a good shot in the arm. It's going to get some money. Absolutely. But with what we have coming up after this movie, I don't see much going on. I don't see many people flocking to the Agatha show. I don't see much hype behind Captain America, Brave New World, Brave New Order, Let's Go Fight a Hulk, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't see much hype for that. I'm not very hyped for it, because the minute we reveal we get Red Hulk, guess what? Ain't no way Captain Falcon's going to be stopping Red Hulk. Sorry to say it, guys. Spoiler alert. Something else is going to have to happen. And then we get Thunderbolts after that, which is a bunch of unpowered B, C-list characters that they don't know what to do with, that they're just throwing together in a movie and saying, hey, here you go, generic Avengers, let's go. None of this is going to give any goodwill for the next projects, unfortunately, guys. And you can say what you want to me about it, but we've already seen it happen again with No Way Home. No Way Home was huge. It was a giant success. And it did not help any of the next projects because they all sucked. And again, if I'm wrong about these new movies and they're great, awesome. I'm happy to have more good comic book movies. But I think this is going to be a one-time deal. It's going to be a flash in the pan until Marvel gets its crap together and figures out what the actual fans want. So, with that being said, I'm going to thank you guys for watching this review. I know it's going to be a little bit rough, but if you enjoyed it, do me a favor, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the share button, spread the nerdiness. Follow on all the social medias. The links are in the description below. And if you're ending it now, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone. All right, so here is my small spoiler section. I'm not going to go too crazy. I don't want this to go insanely long. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to give you a couple of things I really liked and then I really hated. So in this spoiler, again, I'm going to go in no particular order. I'm going to jump around a little bit, pick scenes up as I remember them. My biggest complaint, obviously, was the TVA in this movie. Paradox, Paradigm, Paramore, whatever the hell you want to call the guy, freaking sucked. He was a cartoon character villain with his stupid MacGuffin. Even Deadpool called it out in the movie. Hey, look, there's a MacGuffin. Guess what? That's what the movie was about. Which ties into the end. That was a little terrible. Having the MacGuffin be the thing we need to stop, to be the key to everything, was a little blah. The way it ended with Cassandra holding on to things. We didn't even get a fight with Cassandra because she is so damn powerful. That would have made a great cameo for a Charles Xavier. Whichever one you wanted to bring in. Roll Patrick Stewart's old ass in. Or give us James McAvoy. He already said he'd love to be Professor X again. Bring us a James McAvoy cameo for the end of the movie to help you stop Cassandra. Would have been peak. But instead we get this ending of, oh, we're going to sacrifice our lives and we're going to join hands and kill ourselves to stop the world. And at the end of the day, Cassandra could have just let go. Let go. Movie's over. You know, the ending was a little bit of a letdown. The Paradox, the TVA, the MacGuffin machine, all of it, it was stupid. Could have done without all that. But again, Cassandra Nova should have been the main focus of this freaking movie. She was so goddamn good. Now, as far as some other things that I didn't like, I did hate the tease that we got in the going through the Wolverines, where we got the claws come out and the Hulk here, right? We didn't get the classic scene that I wanted, that picture of Wolverine on top of Hulk with the claws out. That's all we needed to see. Him pop in there, see that, and be like, oh God, bad time, bounce out. You know, we could have done that. They did do it pretty good with the, oh my God, look, he's wearing the... and having the Hulk swat him out of the way. That was all right. But it was disappointing that we didn't see Wolverine and Hulk. This was the opportunity. We had it right freaking there. And we didn't get it. Even just to see the scene, like I said, with Wolverine just on the Hulk. Him zipping in and going, oh my God, bad time, dipping out, whatever. And regarding that scene, that brown costume, holy shit. It was actually even better than the yellow costume. That costume was so damn good. I want to see more of that one. The brown and tan, great costume. The rest of the kind of Wolverine cameos were, oh God, they were so good. The tiny Wolverine was amazing. I wish they would have gotten Danny DeVito Wolverine in there. That would have been good. But I got to see my boy, the one-hand Age of Apocalypse Wolverine in live action. That was great. Beating the shit out of Deadpool with his nub. That was so good. Seeing Patch was great. And of course, Calvary was awesome. While he is way too damn tall to be Wolverine, just like Hugh, damn, he's just, boy is just big, and he looked so great as Wolverine. I gotta give him credit. And that was all awesome. The other cameos in the movie, obviously, Elektra was, it was okay. I would have rather seen Ben Affleck's Daredevil. But, you know, Jennifer Garner was like, hey, I'm doing Capital One commercials right now. Give me some money. And that's it. You know, she took some money, and I wish we would have seen her get, like, run through the back again or stabbed up through the stomach again. You know, Azazel could have done it with his swords, and, you know, we could have had a wall break going, oh my God, not again, or deja vu, or something. You know, the Blade cameo was totally freaking unexpected, and that was amazing. I wish we would have gotten to see more of Wesley Snipes fighting, because, man, I mean, he lost some weight and everything, but bro looked awesome as Blade. And when he says there's only one Blade, I was just like, even though I did like the short-lived TV show. But that was an awesome cameo. And then, of course, we had X-23. We had Daphne Keane. We all knew she was going to be in it. I was a little disappointed what they did with her. I don't think they did enough. And again, there was so much jumping around in this film that I feel like we didn't give much time to breathe. I would have loved to have seen more of the interaction with her and Logan and this new Logan, and like maybe develop a dynamic with them. But we got a little scene that we saw in the trailer with the fire and him drinking, you know, where they're saying, you know, like, you were never that guy. And that's really all we got. I would have loved to have gotten to see a little bit more of that dynamic. And hopefully in the extended cut, we do get some of that. And then it brings me to our last cameo, which, of course, was Channing Tatum as Gambit. I have a love-hate with it. I thought the costume fit really weird here. But again, it's live-action Gambit. I would have loved to have seen Tyler Kitsch, I think it was, reprise it, because I thought he was a phenomenal Gambit. But I gotta give Channing Tatum credit. The freaking accent, gobbledygook, word jumble was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I died laughing. And then, of course, you know, we had our other cameos, which was our Captain America fake out. I died laughing. I was like, oh my God, they brought Cap back. And then he flames on, and I was like, oh shit, he's Human Torch. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I loved it. And of course, you know, we had all of our sprinklings of our kind of generic villains from the Fox universe, which I was like, oh, we couldn't afford to get Olivia Munn to be Psylocke. She's just kind of there. Or, you know, we did get Deathstrike. We got a generic dollar store Juggernaut. I was like, we couldn't get these actors. What are they all doing right now? None of these people are doing anything. But, you know, I guess it's budgets, whatever. So we got generic Juggernaut. I would have rather seen the one from the Deadpool movie because he was done so amazingly well. But, you know, we got. They were all there to be expendable. And, you know, we did get Azazel. He looked freaking awesome. Wish we'd have seen some more of him, too. But, you know, we also got our generic Toad cameo. A bunch of characters that weren't the actual characters from the Fox universe. Except for Pyro. He was actually the same guy. So he had a little bit more to do with the story than I would have thought. So he was kind of the worm leaking info to the TVA. And, you know, getting his just desserts is pretty cool, too. You know, my other things I absolutely hated with these cameos was I freaking hated the Sabretooth one. We did Sabretooth so goddamn dirty in this movie. They got Tyler Mane to come back, the OG Sabretooth, and he's done like that. I was so pissed. It was as irritating as not seeing the Hulk fight. So we didn't get the Hulk fight, and we didn't get a goddamn Sabretooth fight. Super disappointing for me. I did like a lot of it. Seeing them just splatter the Deadpool core at the end of the movie was a great, great kind of final scene. To me, that is the end of the movie. When they go through and they decimate all the Deadpool core, Cowboy Deadpool, Lady Deadpool, all of them, and they all start coming back to life, that was an awesome scene. I wish that was the end of the movie. Instead, we got the cringe TVA crap with the forgettable time cop from Loki. She comes in and she's the head of everything and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, why is she here? When did she get promoted? Where's all the Kang stuff? Because if I remember at the end of Loki, we was all Kangs. Like, there was Kangs everywhere. So we're not going to mention Kang. But TVA is still going on. Like I said, if Kang's going away, I think all the TVA crap should go away too. I really do. Because he created the TVA. So we get rid of one, get rid of the other. Do just what you're doing, Kang. Get rid of it. Just ghost it out. We didn't need it. It could have been just a short-lived thing in this movie. TVA shows up. You're messing with time. What are you doing? Yada, yada, yada. Kill all the TVA guys. TVA's done. But, you know, that's kind of they're kind of my spoilery thoughts here. And I know there are some other ones, but I don't want this video to drag too long. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And try not to be spoilery in the comments. If you guys do have something you want to talk about, absolutely. Send me a DM, and I would love to talk this stuff with you. And may end up doing some kind of a live video or something like that to chat with people about spoilers maybe next week before I go on vacation. But again, thanks for sticking around for the spoilery section. Needed a little venting, stuff like that. And I do apologize if this video went a little long, but appreciate you guys sticking around. Again, let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments down below.